Assalamualaikum and good day, Doctor. We are from Group 6 and we chose Comintel Corporation Berhad as our research study. So, Comintel Corporation is an investment holding company that houses a synergistic set of IT, telecommunications, manufacturing, and R&D firms concentrating on offering specialized solutions under its subsidiaries. Comintel Corporation was listed on the main market of Bursa Securities on 3 August 2009 and became PN17 company of March 2019. For the performance statement of company, Comintel Corporation Berhad was demoted into practice not 17 and 17. Status after their consolidated shareholders' equity fell below 25% of its issued share capital. Next is research questions. Firstly is how to average the firm's net liquid asset in terms of total assets. Second is how to average the accumulated profit over a company's total assets. Third is how to establish the firm's operational efficiency. Next is how to determine the firm's market dimensions. And lastly is how to estimate the firm's sales turnover ratios. This is our objective research. First is to determine the cause of the financial performance decline of a company using financial statement ratio analysis. Second is to average the overall financial performance of the company using Altman Z-score. Third is to forecast the company's financial health using Solver. Next is to analyze the company financial situations before and after PN70. And lastly is to study the assumptions of future financial developments using pro forma financial statements. Next is literature review. According to Ross, Westerfield, Jaffer, and Jordan, a company's operational cash flows are insufficient to cover present obligations. Kim Soon and others imply that the financial performance of financially challenged firms was due primarily to poor management practices and was not affected by the COVID-19 epidemic. According to Izahar Musliman, the IMB Investment Management Berhad Equity Analyst, the principal cause for a listed firm to trigger the suspended criteria is usually due to its inability to register a profit for an extended period. Grantanas, Virgos, and Christopoulos investigated whether the score models could predict bankruptcies up to 3 years ahead of time. The results revealed that the Altman model predicted failures accurately.
Moving forward is the data and methodology section. As we can see, the raw data that have been taken by our group to analyze Comintel Corporation Berhad is basically from 2009 until the end of 2019. So basically, this raw data have been consists of balance sheet as well as the income statement of the Comintel Corporation Berhad. Moving forward, as this is the Comintel Corporation analysis called historical performance, which have been completed by our, which is from 2009 until 2019. So based on the industry average analysis score results, it has been recorded that the conditions of the industry average analysis score at the end of the year, which is the 10th year of our studies, which is 2019, have been shown that this score recorded is around negative 5.37, which can be indicate as the financial distress of the company. And while this is the constraint of the Almanzir score that being used by Comintel Corporation as well as our group to forecast the performance of the Almanzir score for the 5 years ahead.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nushada binti Abdul Aziz and my metric number 272907. Now we'll move to the comparison between the industry average. The graph shows the comparison between financial ratio of Comintel Corporation Berhad along with the industry average for the respective years between 2010 until 2019. Firstly, the debt-to-equity ratio shows an inconsistent trend for Comintel Corp Berhad. Meanwhile, the ratio performance depleted in the industry average, which proves that Comintel performance was slightly bad compared to the industry average. Meanwhile, return on assets ratio shows Comintel being far below the industry average, which means that Comintel possesses lesser assets compared to the average industry. Apart from that, the return on equity that emphasis on the equity that will be valuable for stakeholders ensure that it will be the center of attraction for the future investor in the company. Therefore, it clearly shown that the Comintel Corporation cannot beat the trend of industry average. However, at certain period, the Comintel successfully overpowered the industry average during the year 2018, but suddenly dropped sharply for the following year. Furthermore, the total asset turnover for Comintel and industry average proved the ability of the company to manage their assets and generate the sales compared to the other company, as it has increased significantly until 2018. But as the crisis arise, the company total asset turnover has been recorded below industry average. Finally, price earning ratio, that is to be the indicator to predict the ability of the investors to pay the shares as well as the earnings that they will receive, shows that the trend of the Comintel is recorded below the industry average, and it needs various solutions to ensure that Comintel will be back in the industry as a key player. Moving to the Altman Z-score for 10 years prior to PN17, the Altman Z-score graph demonstrates that Comintel Cooperation Berhad Altman Z-score generally changed over the year prior to PN17. Comintel Corp was in crisis zone from 2010 to 2012 when the Z-score value was less than 1.81. The first performance has dramatically improved from year to year with a considerable improvement in Z-score reached in 2018. Secondly, the Z-score value shows that the company tends to be in gray zone from 2013 to 2017, with a tendency to remain there from 2013 to 2017. It shows that the business's finances are solid and sound. The good news, however, did not last long, as Comintel Corporation Berhad's Z-score started to drop drastically in 2019, suggesting that it is in financial difficulties and faces a considerable danger of bankruptcy, which was noted at negative 5.37. As per the icon of arrow in the figure shown, that the red arrow indicate the financial distress that is faced by Comintel Corporation Berhad. Moving to the industry average Z-score, we computed the industry average Z-score after evaluating Comintel Corporation Berhad's financial records from 2010 to 2019 to determine the industry's Z-score for use as a benchmark in forecasting. The industry average from 6 industry peers is shown in the graph. It shows the ratio or parameter that will be used as the upper limit for calculating the pro forma Z-score ratio for Comintel Corporation. It achieved an overall industry Z-score of 1.1096 with x1 equals to 0.2793, x2 of negative 0.3129, x3 of negative 0.3709, x4 of 0.9087, and x5 of 0.6054. It was demonstrating that the average Z-score for this industry is regarded as not healthy and will receive financial distress with a high probability of going bankrupt because it is less than 1.8, which is considered to be in gray zone. As a result, these averages will be used as a reference and benchmark for research in order to generate Comintel Corporation's pro forma Z-score for 2020 until 2024. Moving to the parameter, these parameters are used as a tool to estimate the income statement and balance sheet of Comintel for the year of 2020 to 2024 as shown in the table. The pro forma's initial sales were obtained from the consolidated statement of profit or loss for the year end of 2019, which is also considered as the base year. Some companies' financial adjustment has been performed based on the parameters indicated. Now, for the pro forma income statement. Income statement in 2019 is used as the base year to help us forecast the financial situation for the coming year using base year data. Therefore, some assumptions were made based on the most recent 2019 financial data to obtain more accurate calculations. The following is a pro forma income statement for Comintel Corporation in 2019 until 2024 using 2019 as the base year. By using initial sales of 3,920,000 27,000 ringgit Malaysia from the income statement in 2019 to calculate the company's sales growth rate for the next year. As we can see, 50% sales growth indicates that this company has the potential to grow and acquire new assets. Therefore, profits after tax is also seen as encouraging each year, demonstrating that the company can maintain a daily profit after deducting certain expenses. Retained earnings have also increased over the coming 5 years, indicating that the company has consistently earned income over time. However, Comintel Corporation's profit margin remained constant at 80% for 2020 until 2024, indicating that the company's strength in business and potential for growth. Moving to the pro forma for balance sheet, the following is a pro forma balance sheet for Comintel Corporation in 2020 to 2024 by making 2019 as the base year. To achieve financial growth for Comintel Corporation Berhad, several components adjustments have been made. Thus, this indicates that Comintel Corporation has a strong balance sheet in 2020 to 2024. The company maintains a minimum cash policy of 1,845,000 ringgit to offset any unplanned cash flows or be used to pay off debt. It can also be used to invest in assets to earn a higher income. For Comintel, the company's asset outweigh its liabilities, indicating that Comintel Corporation has the strongest financial health in its business for the coming years. Therefore, this company maintains a share capital of 95,745,000 every year, which is the amount of money that the company owner has invested in the business. As shown in the figure, total equity has increased for the next 5 years. Since the amount of the other reserves and retained earning has increased, it will cause the company's stockholders' equity to increase.
So I will continue. This is Comintel Corporation's Z-score pro forma for 5 years. We use Excel solver to help determine the ideal Z-score by referring to previous year income statement in order to create a gradual improvement over the next 5 years. As we can see in the slide, from 2020 to 2022, the score is less than 1.81, but there is still an increase from year to year to get out of financial distress. However, in 2023, the Z-score meets the target of 2.00, indicating the emergence of financial difficulty and eventual entry into the grey area. Then the Z-score value increased to 2.40 for the following year, indicating that Comintel Corporation should gradually gain better control over their performance to overcome their financial problem. So this is the graph that shows Z-score performance from 2019 until 2024. There were many different in 2019 that show value as low as negative 0.30. If Comintel Corporation can overcome their financial issue, the company can have a positive Z-score. I will continue for computation ratio for 5 years. For profitability ratio in 2024, ROA increased with a positive value as a result of the company increased sales by selling more of its product, while ROE also have a positive value in 2024 compared to the previous year. It may indicate that the company is inefficient in terms of profit generation, but it is an improvement over the previous year. However, NPL of Comintel Corporation also increased in 2024, indicating that the company is running in profit compared to the previous year that the company is making less money than it's spending. Next, from 2020 to 2024, the graph showed that the company current ratio is greater than 1, which is considered healthy and no need to struggle to meet its obligation. Lastly, the trend for debt ratio increased from 2020 to 2024, but it can be considered good if the company can achieve less than 0.4 to avoid borrowing troubles. Furthermore, the debt to equity ratio rise sharply from 2020 to 2024. It demonstrates that the company will be risky, but it can control it by keeping the debt to equity ratio below 1.0, which is considered relatively safe.
Assalamualaikum, Doctor. My name is Dr. Aisyah binti Kamaruddin. My matric number is 267762. Now my turn to explain about the conclusion and the recommendation. So, for the conclusion, Element Z score calculation shows that the score was below 1.81 from 2010 to 2013 and remained less from 2015 to 2016, which the company was facing the financial distress. By using the Excel solver to obtain the optimal Z-score, the score is significantly increased than 1.81 in 2023. In 2025, continuing to increase more than 1.81. That indicate that the company will improve in the future, transition from the financial distress at a grey zone. Now I will explain about the recommendation. So first recommendation is increase its total asset by emphasizing current asset, which the group made the office property to acquire the extra fund. Trade receivable must be settled per the terms of the relevant contracts. Second, reorganize its operational expenditure, which the company must reduce costs throughout the operation, such as impairment losses on real estate, machinery, and equipment. Comintel was encouraged to carefully plan its operating expenses and operation. For the third recommendation is concentrate on generate revenue, which company can focus on increasing the sale, actively market its product and services in building project and client contracts, and also contribute to green technology can lower operating costs and increase revenue. And the last recommendation is collaboration with excellent partner, which Comintel is struggling with liquidity due to the significant liability rise, and discover more about your clients and business partner, and also develop a effective marketing strategy. That's all. Thank you.